So you've made this amazing NPC for your players to interact with, but your players have either defeated them immediately or have gone off in a completely different direction. What do you do then? Well, I have a tool that will make it incredibly easy to reduce the time spent making NPCs, but also allow you to improvise NPCs on the go. And that tool is a Universal NPC Emulator. UNE is a small PDF or booklet that was created by Zach Best, and it contains a bunch of tables which you roll on that surprisingly very quickly give you an NPC and character. Just like in the name, it's universal, which means that you can use it with any system or setting that you want. The actual tables are based more on a stereotypical medieval fantasy, so it'll say things like peasant or king or knight or priest, but you can obviously take those and use them in your setting. So if you're playing a sci-fi and you got the role of a tavern keeper, you can change it to the bartender in a cantina or the bartender in a cyberpunk city. UNE can be used by a game master who wants to prep several NPCs beforehand, or can be used by them to improvise more NPCs on the go. I use it for when I'm playing solo and I need to generate the cast of characters as I'm playing the story. So for this video, let's say that we're in a sci-fi setting and our character is a bounty hunter / detective who has been sent to collect a bounty on someone in this bar, and they're about to enter the bar, and we want to know who exactly the person is that the bounty is for. So the first section of UNE is the NPC creator. Now this is two tables. The first table is the NPC modifier table. The NPC modifier table is a collection of adjectives. You will roll a D100 or 2D10s to pick one of these adjectives. So let's say I rolled an 84. On this table, an 84 is the word compliant. The next table is the NPC noun table. This table is a list of nouns of who our NPC could be. I roll on this table again, and I get 75, which is a soldier. I then put these together to get compliant soldier. And so now we have an idea of who this character is. He's a compliant soldier, so maybe he's a more younger, more inexperienced soldier who isn't very boastful and is maybe a bit soft-spoken. Now that is interesting. That is a character we can use and grow. Now you can stop right there, but there's more to UNE, so let's just keep going. The next section is the NPC power level. This is the NPC power table. This table tells us how powerful the NPC is in relation to the player characters. This is so you as a game master can have some idea of how powerful they are, or at this point create stats for them. First you set the R level. If you're familiar with Mythic, this is exactly like the chaos factor. If you're not, the R level is just a measure of how chaotic the scene is that you're meeting this NPC in. If it's a bar fight, it will be higher, maybe a 5. If it's the beginning of the story on your family's farm, then maybe it's very low, just 1. Let's go with 4, as maybe this bar is a bit more seedier. Now just roll a percentile dice, go to the R number, and see how powerful the NPC is. I got 22, so this guy is actually slightly less powerful than my PCs. So this poor gentleman is a sort of weaker, younger, less experienced, less boastful, more soft-spoken soldier who for some reason someone just wants to be rid of. Maybe the reason he has a bounty on him is because he forgot to strong hit the like button on this video, which I would really appreciate. But no, seriously, why is there a bounty on him? What might help us next are the NPC motivation tables. These tables will give us a goal or a set of actions that this NPC wants to do, and that might give us a hint of why people are after him. The first table is the verb table. So I'll roll and I get 92. Now that is a result of detect. The next table is the noun table. I got 22, which is the populace. So together, he wants to detect the populace. Now this phrase sounds really weird, so it's important when you're using emulators like this to just go with your gut. My gut tells me that detect the populace means that, as a soldier, he was responsible for looking at people and trying to find, insurgents or dissidents or rebels. And so we now have an interesting story there. He's detecting the populace. So just from a few short rules in UNE, we know that our player characters have been sent to go after this young soldier, inexperienced guy who is soft-spoken, and his job is to root out, terrorists and rebels or insurgents, and so maybe one of those groups are the ones that placed a bounty on him. But this isn't a hardened veteran or, super loyal guy or evil guy. He's just, you know, a soldier who maybe only just joined and he thinks he's a hero and doesn't know what's about to happen to him. That's an interesting character. And that character could be very interesting for the player characters to interact with. Do they help this guy instead? Do they go after the bounty? And all of that is just from a few short roles in the Universal NPC Emulator. And that is why I do really enjoy the Universal NPC Emulator, and I do recommend it for if you're quickly needing an NPC on the spot. The Universal NPC Emulator can help you generate a full cast of characters for you to use. But what if you also wanted the actual adventure and story generated as well? Well, for that, you will need something else. The Mythic GM emulator, and if you want to learn more about that, you can watch this video right here.